Hello, I'm Thomas Carruthers.
I'm Will Leggetter.
And we are joined by... Were you our first aired guest? You were our first ever guest because of... Our test episode was the When Harry Met Sally. Oh yes, you were our first ever guest because La La Land was our second episode, wasn't it? But anyway, enough about your past. Let's talk about the future. You are indeed Becky Muggeridge. Welcome back, Becky. Let's cut the bullshit. This is a movie that is cutting bullshit all the time. Let's cut the bullshit. Becky, what's your relationship with our third Tarantino, Pulp Fiction?
Miramax Films is proud to present one of the most celebrated motion pictures of the year. The winner of the 1994 Palme d'Or, the best picture of the Cannes Film Festival.
Come on, let's get in the character. Why are you so interested in Big Man's wife?
Well, he's going out of town in Florida, and he asked me if I'd take care of her while he's gone.
Take care of him?
No, man. Just show her a good time, make sure she don't get lonely. Girl. You see, this is a moral test of oneself.
I do believe Marcellus, my husband, your boss, told you to take me out and do whatever I wanted.
Whether or not you can maintain loyalty.
Night of the fight, you may feel a slight sting. Pride only hurts. It never helps.
So, introduced to me a couple of years ago by a group of people who were big fans of Tarantino, and I very quickly watched pretty much all of the Tarantinos in a row. I remember this film being like, particularly the start is just iconic, and I've had conversations, which we'll come on to, regarding bits of it. And it's just been one of those ones that I haven't really watched recently, so it was a good like rewatch, but something that has stuck in my mind.
I have to say, you play with matches, you get burned.
We should have shotguns for this kind of deal.
We're in a lot of danger, aren't we?
I'm prepared to scour the earth for that moment.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration? Get down, get down.
You got a corpse in a car, minus a head in a garage. Take me to it.
Don't you hate that?
Hey, what?
Uncomfortable silences.
John Travolta, Samuel L. Jackson, Uma Thurman, Harvey Keitel, Tim Roth, Amanda Plummer, Maria de Medeiros, Bing Rames, Eric Stoltz, Rosanna Arquette, Christopher Walken, and Bruce Willis.
Looking at something, friend? You my friend, Luca.
Die, you mother!
A new film directed by Quentin Tarantino. Pulp Fiction.
You really thinking about quitting?
Most definitely.
What you gonna do then?
Basically, I'm just gonna walk the earth.
What you mean walk the earth?
You know, like Kane in Kung Fu.
It is one of those movies where I was talking about this when we did Terms of Endearment and Goodfellas in the same sort of couple of weeks, and I was like, every time it cut to a new scene, I was like, oh no, this is another genuinely perfect scene. I know that more so Goodfellas, that's a universal opinion. Terms of Endearment, I guess, is just a me thing. But every time it cuts to a new scene or a new character, it's like why I talk about Mad Men being the best show ever, because there's not a supporting character where it's like, it's a Joan episode. There's no characters like that. I mean, we'll find out. Will be watching he'll be losing his Mad Men virginity very soon. But there's just no, and that's the same with Pulp Fiction. There is just, there's one big one, which I think me and Will are in agreement with.
Are we on about, there's a certain character in this movie that
And I don't even think it's a certain character. I think it's a certain actress.
Yeah.
But we'll get to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know what Becky's stance is on this.
It's Uma Thurman.
I hate John Travolta, guys. Samuel L. Jackson, overrated.
I realised the one episode I try a new backdrop is the one where my Pulp Fiction poster is not in shot.
Oh, well.
I've been waiting for this the whole time.
This is true. I'm pretty sure on a previous episode you said, maybe it was before or after a show, I can't remember, but you said something about, my Pulp Fiction will be in the background of the Pulp Fiction episode. Yeah. All those people are going to be disappointed now.
But we're going to lose a lot of viewers.
We are. Let's jump straight into it. Best YouTube comments. Actually, on the thing it says best YouTube comments, but I don't know. I've never sort of best. Who knows? Okay. This, I think I found like the most movie bro top 5 ever. And this is Dan2381. Can you guess his top 5? He posted his top 5 favorite films. This is one. This is number 1, obviously.
Is it just all the Tarantinos?
There is one more Tarantino.
Okay.
Oh, it's not. It'll be Jackie Brown.
No, it's not. No. You're giving too much credit. This is like I have a big. I've got a Pulp Fiction poster on my wall.
Inglourious Bastards?
No, actually. Reservoir Dogs at 5.
Oh, okay.
What are the other big like movie?
The Godfather.
Movies? The Godfather's number 2. Yeah.
Shawshank.
No, actually. Matrix and Fight Club.
Oh, that's very cliche.
Yes. Imagine if Pulp Fiction
top 5, Tom.
Yeah, but I have no I didn't you read my article, Will? Where the opening intro was all about how like people who say that Shawshank's their favourite film are like, nah, it's so basic. But it was a twist because the ending revealed that it was my favourite film.
The opening intros to a lot of your blogs seem to be you trying to do a little. I just want to say before you read the rest of this.
I just want to say that I'm not a pervert. I just like erotic thrillers of the late 80s and early 90s. And you've written 4,000 words on them? Oh, wait, no, this wasn't people's opinions. This was Becky's comments. No, I'm kidding. She didn't. Imagine if Pulp Fiction was a TV show with a new part of the story with every episode. That sounds terrible.
It would not work.
I think it's a well-known fact. I don't know if it is a well-known fact that everyone in the world has a crush on Uma Thurman. I guess this is a weird conversation, seen as that our guest this week is your girlfriend, Will. But you have a pretty outspoken crush on Uma Thurman, don't you? But not in this movie, which is arguably the best she's ever looked.
I've never heard this before.
I've
welcome to therapy, everybody.
It's not a crush. She was my sexual awakening.
Which is that was
even more news to me.
Yeah, she wasn't a crush. She was my sexual awakening.
In Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin, yeah. But only before the transformation. Only.
I love scientists.
You do.
The lab coats.
See, Becky, you've got something there. I just noticed this after watching the film for the 96th time. Every time Vincent goes to the bathroom, a tragedy occurs. That's the first time you've noticed that? Really? Did you notice it, Will?
It's only my 95th time. So I
there you go.
Unfortunately.
Good one up. When you're done watching this, you'll know it's been a while since you've seen a great movie. It is refreshing in that way. I mean, every time we talk about, we often get into the same conversation of how depressing the modern film. I mean, even more depressing now. I mean, this.
Oh yeah, I mean, last episode, I think we said, "Oh, fingers crossed, we're watching Bond in a few." No, readers.
Actually, by the time that this episode comes out, we still won't have seen Bond, and that will have been a whole nearly
that's the
6
thing.
months.
They've already pushed it forward. It's a whole year.
It's a year from when it should have come out last year. And at time of recording, Cineworld have just announced closure. I will be seeing my last movie in the cinemas for a good long time.
Cineworld Wakefield is the only relief that Wakefield has to offer.
Yeah, and then even the Nando's is attached to the
About your
Cineworld.
cinema card, is that Cineworld only?
The only reason anyone goes to Wakefield.
Oh, that's a
Cineworld
shame.
It
That's
is
a
only.
shame.
Why are you smiling? William, I'm a single miserable guy.
You should invest
barely
in
coming
a
out of
Cineworld
depression.
card. I know it's expensive, but you'll be going a lot. Ha!
No, I never said that. I said, but actually, it gets put on hold, Will. But no, I never said it's expensive that you'll use it. I said it's only £17 a month. If you go twice, you get your money's worth. And with a lovely lady as Becky, on the Meerkat 2 for 1, the other person's free as well. Yeah, so the other person's free. So, anyway. Okay. Everyone who says this movie sucks clearly has some kind of mental issue. This is honestly one of the best movies I've ever seen. Sure, Quentin Tarantino has odd movies, like Kill Bill. But this movie shows how the different plots in each character were so perfectly woven together and how they were all connected. Every single one of the actors was amazing for their role, and the action was awesome. I've never seen a movie so carefully and amazingly put together. The plot twist was just the perfect icing on the cake. I think it is a bit of an underrated plot twist, actually.
It is a great
It's not necessarily a twist. It's a...
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a twist.
But it's a...
It's just a clever plot sequencing.
It's true. But do we not call it a twist because we've seen it so many times and we know...
Well, it's classic Tarantino time playing.
Okay, I remember the first time I watched it, and I remember being like, oh, it's the start again. But like, I've seen much better twists, if you want to call it that.
Maybe
I think it's more just like it goes back to the start. Like, there are also lots of other films where they go either backwards or they'll jump from place to place. Like,
Back to the Future.
Special.
They do go back to the I remember when the first time I watched it, I was like on the cut to Garçon, coffee. I remember going, oh! But maybe I'm just a stupid. I mean, I was a very young child. We all know how I watched these movies far too young in life. I watched Bing Rames get raped by a guy in a basement, probably before I was 10. So I guess
that is rather concerning.
So
I watched it age 17 and still didn't understand most of what was going on because I was so innocent at the time.
Bring out the gimp.
What
first went through your head when you heard the phrase, bring out the gimp? The gimp's sleeping, wake him up.
Yeah, I didn't... A lot of what went on in that film, it just kind of went over me.
Let's just jump straight into it then. Best 10-minute stretch. I was considering breaking it down, but it's not really just the three. No. We are going to stick with 10-minute stretch. Becky, you had a very visceral reaction when I said that, so why don't you take us away?
It's just because I have a really obvious one, and it's because it's like, it's one of the bits that sticks. I'm not sure you'll agree with me here, but it sticks in my head, and it was the one bit that, like, yeah, I could like play through in my head. And it's pretty much from, I don't know how much 10 minutes is, but the car conversation about McDonald's in in like
Royale with cheese.
Yeah, all the way through foot massage conversation through to confrontation with
the like fucking master.
Just everything about it is incredible, and I'm sure this will become one of the questions. But I want to talk about the foot massage thing.
Oh, I didn't have a. That's a good one. I have
what
got some
our
other.
Opinion on this?
Have you got
this is a conversation I had in first year of uni.
I haven't got a burger question. I do have a sex-based question, but I guess no. Let's talk about foot.
Let's do Becky's question.
So is it a romantic thing or is it not? because I had an argument with my flatmates and my friends in first year about this. We had like a full-on conversation.
I think you can make anything romantic. Any gesture you can make romantic. It could just be a foot massage.
It depends on the context. Are we talking Mia comes into, I don't know, to pick up some money or whatever at the bar, and then the guy behind the bar, we don't know what Anton Rocky Horror was doing, and he's just like, oh, my feet are so bad, and he goes, I've got a great foot massage. Or are we talking, they're at home, had a drink, oh, foot massage. I remember,
my opinion on it,
go on, shoot.
Is that there's nothing wrong with a foot massage. I feel like you could quite easily do that from like a friendly perspective and nothing's weird. I get your point about how it can be turned into something, like if you're being, and particularly when you see what she's like when she spends that evening with Vincent, she is quite like a flirty person. So you can see how it probably was flirty. But if you just take the standalone concept of a foot massage, I don't think that is in any way.
So you agree
romantic.
That rubbing a lady's feet and sticking your tongue in the holiest of holies ain't in the same ballpark. It ain't in the same game. It ain't in the same fucking spot.
I just love that whole conversation.
It's a great conversation. I love. One of my sneaky favorite parts is. Yeah, we're too early. Let's go stand over there. And then let's get into
And then they just walk to the end of the corridor, continue a conversation, and then walk back down again. It's not even like, that was half expecting them the first time to just leave the building or walk down the stairs or whatever. And it's for like 30 seconds.
This is great. I have that. I had the big kahuna scene, as I refer to it. However, before that, I have a 5-minute stretch of the opening diner scene.
Yes.
Pumpkin, Honey Bunny, Tim Roth, Amanda Plummer. Still works to this day. I don't forget that they're robbers, obviously. But it's nothing new to say that they're beautifully written scenes, but it is an exceptionally written scene.
He can write, can Quentin.
It's just so propellant. And I don't think we've necessarily talked yet about the whole pop culture thing that it's so famous for, and is in many ways at its peak here. We had the Pam Grier conversation in Reservoir Dogs, but now he's referencing Kung Fu. He's referencing Three Stooges is on the TV. The entire concept of Jack Rabbit Slims. This is peak. The Tarantino. I watched the deleted scenes, and there's a deleted scene where basically Mia comes in with a camera. When the son of a preacher man business, and she films him, and she's like, "Tell me about yourself." And this is before they get in the car. So not the intro to Mia is not her pulling up and square. Don't be so square. But it's this extended scene, and she's like, "Are you an Elvis man or a Beatles man? You can't be both." Oh, that's important. Are you an Elvis man or a Beatles man? You can like, the opinion that she has is that you can like both, but you can't like one more than the other. And I do think that's true.
I'm definitely a Beatles person.
Yeah, me too. Becky?
I do feel the same about them both.
Well, you can go write a strongly worded email to Tarantino. He's go fuck himself. Your theory is wrong.
I'm the odd one out.
Sorry, Beck, continue. Have you got any other nominations for 10 minutes?
Well, basically that like standout one. I did like the last 10 minutes. I prefer that to the first 5 minutes. The like final diner scene.
So your favourite aspect of the film is Vince and Jules.
Samuel L. Jackson is basically my favourite part of the film.
Jules, yeah. We'll get to Oscars, but we'll get to Oscars. Yeah, no, Sam. Yeah, Sam. He is the best part of the film. I think it's almost there's no controversy. Insane. every time I get to the sort of Winston Wolfe thing, I sort of really get into that side of things. But even then, it's still also the Jules element. He does ooze charisma to an almost obnoxious extent in this film. I mean, but also great drama and great humanity. The delivery of I'm trying real hard to be a chef. That's a really, really poignant, line and exchange at the end of this rather, I don't want to say cartoony, rather, pulpy movie. That's where it comes from. Any other nominations, 10-minute stretch, Becky, before we shoot to Wilhelm?
That's all from me.
Well, take us away, Will.
Hello. I've got, burger dance as one.
Yeah,
there's two great burger scenes actually.
So tell me again about the hash bar.
Okay, what you want to know?
Hash is legal now, right?
Yeah, it's legal, but it ain't 100% legal. I mean, you just can't walk into a restaurant, roll a joint, and start puffing away. I mean, they want you to smoke in your home or certain designated places.
And those are hash bars.
Yeah, it breaks down like this, okay? It's legal to buy it, it's legal to own it, and if you're the proprietor of a hash bar, it's legal to sell it. It's legal to carry it, but that doesn't matter, because get a load of this, all right? If you get stopped by a cop in Amsterdam, it's illegal for them to search you. I mean, that's the right that cops in Amsterdam don't have.
Oh, man, I'm going. That's all it is to it. I'm fucking going.
No, baby, you dig it the most. But you know what the funniest thing about Europe is?
What?
It's the little differences. I mean, they got the same shit over there that they got here, but it's just there, it's a little different.
Example?
All right, well, you can walk into a movie theater in Amsterdam and buy a beer. And I don't mean just like no paper cup, I'm talking about a glass of beer. And in Paris, you can buy a beer in McDonald's. And you know what they call a quarter pounder with cheese in Paris?
They don't call it a quarter pounder with cheese?
Oh, man, they got the metric system. They wouldn't know what the fuck a quarter pounder is.
And what do they call it?
They call it Royale with cheese.
Royale with cheese.
So it's a tasty burger.
That's a tasty burger.
That is a tasty burger. That's great. Could you say dance going into drugs and then shock?
I would instead go.
I'll split them into two.
I would instead go date into dance. I think that's a lovely 10 minutes. I just enjoy them talking, the whole $5 shake business. Got it. Then Christoph bloody as hell.
Apartment into
the heroin. Where have I got heroin?
Where have I got heroin?
Here in this drawer.
I left it down here somewhere.
I don't adrenaline. I don't. Marvin? No. I don't know.
Are we going to talk about this now? The whole
heroin? Yeah, why not? Let's talk. Let's fuck it up. Let's talk about the heroin.
I mean, from a biomedical science aspect.
Oh right. Oh great.
Little medical Becky. Very inaccurate in the whole adrenaline thing, and like stabbing you in the heart thing. But there is like a treatment for overdose of heroin, and it's called Narcan, and you can either inject it into the blood or into the muscle, and it basically counteracts the effects of an overdose of heroin.
But not into the heart.
Not into the heart, and it's not adrenaline, and it's not like that in any way. And you wouldn't have the like sudden awakeness. It would be like a, in hospital, slowly being injected with a drug situation.
Just as cinematic as
yeah, of course. Because that's that would definitely be a Tarantino moment.
Can I do the fun fact that no one knows?
So they filmed it
that scene was shot in reverse, so you could get, because he filmed it touching her and then went, so when they played it in reverse, it was as close as possible to stabbing her. That's a fun fact. But another 10-minute stretch.
I was wondering that.
Another 10-minute stretch is, it's definitely Bruce Willis mowing down and then going
Marcellus into
the basement.
Into Zed.
Arguably, possibly the
Zed and me and Will quote bring out the gimp We're big Gimp fans, aren't we, Will? Maybe our favourite character in
I mean, yeah. Name your favourite character in Pulp Fiction. My go-to thing would be the Gimp.
What happens to the Gimp? Because he's just kind of left hanging there.
Well,
and Marcellus is dealing with the rapist.
We know that Butch can kill somebody with a punch. Are we to presume? So I just think he's knocked out.
I thought he was knocked out.
Yeah, he's knocked out. I don't know whether
he
Marcellus
hasn't necessarily done anything wrong.
with his group of guys who is going to bring with pliers and a blowtorch to go medieval on your ass. I don't know whether or not they're going to go medieval on the Gimp. I don't know what the Gimp's really done. We'll get to in a few fun facts. Tarantino.
I'm sure we will.
Tarantino's backstory for the Gimp. So get yourself ready. I have a Winston Wolfe. Let's talk about Marvin, the incredible. Do you really think, Marvin, that a man? Another great, shocking moment that I was very fortunate to. In many ways, I'm very happy that I watched as a small child because I had none of these things ruined for me by the media. So I didn't know that Marvin gets shot. And Jimmy, Tarantino is Jimmy. I know how good my coffee is. I buy good coffee. Bonnie buys shit. I buy good coffee. I like how nice Jimmy and Wolf are, the nice little friendship that comes up between the Wolf and Jimmy. It's like, these are nice sheets, Mr. Wolf, call me Winston. Your Uncle Marcellus. Want to, when they're laughing, when they're spraying them down. Let's just throw it in now.
Let's do it.
I had it in big questions, but what is our favourite section?
Section. Not.
It's not as easy as it's not as easy as you can, because obviously you have the diner at the start, then you have the Big Kahuna scene, which doesn't have a title.
Yeah. See, I'd be tempted to say it is the third section because the best storyline is the Bruce Willis storyline. Yeah, for me.
Wait, what's the third section?
Bruce, the gold watch.
That's my least favourite section.
I think there are two camps, aren't there? There are two camps.
Yeah.
There are many people who think it just gets completely in the way of a great film about John Travolta.
My take on this is that I love that first sort of 10 minutes and everything. I love the diner. I also enjoy the whole date with Vincent and Mia. And that's another, the dance scene is again sort of iconic and it sticks in my mind. Before I rewatched this film, I completely forgot every single moment that happened after the heroin overdose, pretty much until returning to the diner. And rewatching it, I'm not surprised why. It just was nowhere near as iconic as the first bit and the end bit.
Does it have to be iconic to be good?
No,
that's my question.
Obviously not, but
no, but it just
it
didn't stick in my head.
But there is a lot in this film that is iconic. Tom's weirdly specific favourite parts of the film. I love Amanda Plummer at the diner when she says, "Thank you." She's really nice to the waitress. The radio change halfway through the opening credits. Misraloo and then suddenly we're into Jungle Boogie. There's the apocryphal tale of the premiere where a producer was overheard saying, "Can you do that?" Somebody said, "You can now."
I think a lot of people will know Misraloo as Gordon Ramsay's theme tune.
In what?
It's pretty much in everything he does now. I think it was first introduced, sponsored. I mean, we're not, but it was sponsored by Gordon's Gin. I think it was probably 2010, 9, 8-ish. He did a show called Gordon Ramsay's Cook Along Live, where he taught you, and I spent about a week doing this, how to perfectly cut an orange, peel off with a knife, and it was so juicy and beautiful. But yeah, that was his little theme tune.
I prefer the one he has for Hotel Hell now. Hotel Hell.
I hate his new show where he just gets like a big clock up. Like it's Gordon Ramsay does 60-minute makeover.
Are you trying to say that 24 Hours to Hell and Back is a bad show? Because I will have you know, Will,
it's got nothing to do with cooking. It's got nothing to do with cooking.
It has everything to do with cooking. He needs to tell them how to make the food. You're great. So your mum left you when you were a small child, and you could cook. That's the only way you could get out of your life. I can see the energy there. Let's put it into the restaurant. You've lost your hope. I'm going to give it back. It's great. Absolutely great show. Becky, do you have a passing thought on Gordon Ramsay and his televisual oeuvre?
I enjoy like Hell's Kitchen on the occasion, but I'm not.
Fucking salmon's raw. Great stuff.
Where's the lamb sauce?
I would have to say Kitchen Nightmares USA and F Word, the British F Word. I love the F Word. That's
American is just they just get so angry. It's brilliant.
It's because when he did the British one, we saw straight through him and we knew exactly. Oh, it's just reality, Gordon. Don't mess with us. We know it's pretend. Take it to America, and it's got extreme sort of like rock music. It's very dramatic. And they all love him. They love Chef Ramsay, as they call him.
They do call him Chef Ramsay when he does the disguises. That's Chef Ramsay. That's Chef Ramsay. It's great shit. My favourite exchange in the entire film is what? What? You say what? Say what again? And then. Where's he from? What? Oh, I don't know there. Do they speak English in what? And then, does he look like a bitch?
Does he
what?
look like a
Say
bitch?
what again? I tell you, I double tell you, motherfucker. Why are you trying to fuck him like a bitch?
That's what I was going to have on my painting of him.
Does he look like a bitch?
Yeah.
Bruce and Vega at the bar. I ain't your friend, Pacola. That stuff. Square. The blow of the kiss from Vincent to Mia, just a nice little end. The watch grab at the end of the best single minute of the film.
I say we've refrained from this. I'm sure we'll get to it.
We'll get to it in a single minute. The best minute of the entire film.
Yeah.
And the end watch grab, and then ding ding ding, and Bruce Willis jumping up. That's good shit. One of my favourite Marcellus Wallace lines. If he's in Indochina, you better have a guy there waiting in a bowl of rice to pop a cap in his hands. Great stuff. I really like the long shot with Butch when he's sneaking into his home, and we just stay behind him for a good minute and a half, just walking through some field. It's good stuff. The car crash, specifically. I like that again. The ingenious of the non-linear aspect is that we get the reveal of the gun guy, and we get and we get to hear Ezekiel 25:17 again, but that we get the guy. We just have no idea what's happening. I love Marcellus's breakfast outfit, and that woman in the swimsuit is Mia, isn't it? Because you can't really tell because she's got sunglasses on and she's got a thing. When he's having breakfast and he's like, I'm going to send the wolf. He goes, you're sending the wolf? Great. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Paying attention.
And the Jimmy, they look like dogs. And then Samuel Jackson, they're your clothes. Yeah, jokes on you, they're your clothes. Great stuff. Will's more general favorite part of the film.
Royale with cheese, all of that. And then when it comes back again, when he's like explaining to the guy in the chair, do you know what they got? And he's like, tell him. And he's just there in the background with the briefcase, like Royale with cheese.
Do you know why they call that, Brett? Because the metric system. Oh, look at the big brains on Brett.
You want smart motherfucker? He's just so good. He's just so good.
I love in your tasty beverage.
Yeah, adding on to you saying Marcellus and Bruce at the bar. Just the shot, the camera angle, the back of his head. That's great.
Now to the fact you're going to hear something. That's pride fucking with you. Great stuff.
The poor waiter at the date when he gets the order, he just stood there like 11, bless him.
Oh, waiter? Well, that's Steve Buscemi. Did you not notice that was Steve Buscemi?
I did.
Have you watched this? How many times have you watched this film now?
Sorry.
You don't need to apologise to me. No, yeah, that's Steve Buscemi as Buddy Holly. Have you never noticed?
I probably have.
Apparently not.
Yeah.
He's that. You know what? He's that good at. That's why they cast him as Randall, because he's such a chameleon.
I thought that's why they cast him in The Island with Ewan McGregor. That's a great film. I love that film.
It's a great film. Anything else? Anything else?
The pancakes.
Just all of the food.
Yeah.
Oh no, them eating pancakes. Oh,
yeah.
Good.
John Travolta. No. Not those pancakes. Becky's like, what? We'll get to it. Get medieval.
That was really in sync. We both said we'll get to it, and we both ummed at the same time. Becky, do you have any specific favourite parts?
We'll come on to like more general things, extra points, but there is one specific thing: the way that the briefcase lights up when you open it.
Yes.
And the fact that it's the code for it is 666. I quite like that.
Yeah. So
here we go.
We do know what's inside. It's a bulb and a battery pack. And that's it.
I mean, obviously, it looked very, very.
Yes. I guess we can talk about it. I mean, it's never really intrigued me as a question, but what do we think's inside the case? Well, Tarantino said, hasn't he? He's like, that's the fun part of the film, is because you can put whatever you want in the case, and it's a whole different movie. Like, one time, I can watch it, and it's a bunch of money, and then it's great. It's a movie about money. It's a movie about consumerism. Or I can put some drugs in the case, and the stakes are high. It's a movie about drug dealing. So
I want it to be the dirty laundry that.
No, you want it to actually be. It's my boss's dirty laundry. That sounds like a bad job. I was thinking the same thing. Yes, it could be the dirty laundry. Will, do you have any prevailing theories on what's inside the box?
Gwyneth Paltrow's head.
Good reference, Will. And I envy your perfect life. So I took your pretty wife's head. What's he talking about? John Doe has the upper head. John Doe has the upper head. What, Becky, have you seen Seven? Do you know anything about the end of Seven?
Well, I think we've just reenacted it for her and ruined it.
No.
I wasn't really paying attention.
Don't. Watch Seven.
Anyone who came to see New College Pontefract's production of The Addams Family had the film spoiled for them there and then.
Yes. There was there was a gag in the text of Addams Family about a box, and it was, what's inside the box? And very early on in rehearsals, our Gomez threw in a joke where he said, Gwyneth Paltrow's head. And nobody laughed. It's a funny reference, but
I'm sure the first time he did it, me and you went,
oh, funny. Seven. And everybody said, don't keep that in. It's not funny. Was there a single time he didn't say it? No. And did it always play to silence? Yes. Was it me and Will's favourite part? Waiting for the dead silence.
It was great. And as the silence go, we just simultaneously sipped from our wine glasses.
And at the end of every song, he would go, gracias.
Yeah, we had fun in Addams Family. We had a lot of fun.
We had a lot of fun. And you enjoyed drinking in between those shows, didn't you, Will?
But that was Footloose.
You were
Footloose.
No. Footloose, you were worried about drinking.
I was, but I did enjoy drinking. In fact, I had my first spoons.
Oh, did you?
I had a Purple Rain.
Oh, rest in peace, friends. What are we doing here? Oh, Becky's favourite. Are you done, Becky?
Yeah, we'll come back to my other notes.
Well, let's
Once
jump into a category that I don't think you've been here for yet, Becky, which is Soundtrack Corner, which is something we brought in for the Tarantino fortnight, and I think we will keep. It's great, isn't it, Will? Becky, what's your favourite song on this soundtrack?
Oh,
We
there's
sort of
so
have a
many.
yeah, I know. We sort of have like a thing where it's best song and best use of a song in the film. So
Okay, I also don't know the names of some of these songs.
Okay.
I recognize, I know the songs, I just don't know the names. So let me just.
I could argue that the best song is Lonesome Town by Ricky Nelson, which is just a beautiful song. And it's used very nicely in the background of the date.
I do love You Never Can Tell.
I think that's the best use.
Yes, it's also in Arthur and the Invisibles. But
You know
I
what?
think we
My
can agree.
favourite- Okay.
Oh,
You go.
yeah, I think we can agree that the best soundtrack title is Bring Out the Gimp.
Bring out, you're goddamn right it is. Wake him up.
You just have to wake him up now, won't you?
Great stuff. I'm a big fan of Flowers on the Wall by the Statler Brothers, just as a song. I really like it's a great song about being alone. I keep hearing you're concerned about. Just the
Becky,
great lyrics.
What were you going to say?
Yes.
My favourite song on that soundtrack is strangely Son of a Preacher Man. I love that song. I'm all about that song. But it's not really like a main song in it. It's kind of in the background slightly.
But it is also an impeccable choice and an impeccable scene.
Yeah.
I once played the adopted son of the preacher man, where Tom played that preacher man.
Yes, I played your father figure. In the words of George Michael, I will be your father figure. Put your tiny hand in mine. Son of a Preacher Man, incredible.
My opinion on the best use of a song, it's got to be Mizzaloo. It's just like, it's so iconic. There was even like an Instagram filter fairly recently that was like, you filmed something and then at some point it paused and went do, 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 do.
It will never not. My CD, do you remember when CDs were a thing? And I had the CD of the Pulp Fiction soundtrack, and at the end of it, it had a 20-minute interview with Tarantino. And it was great. And his big thing was like, I've wanted to use Miserably for so long, but you don't use Miserably unless you're going to use Miserably. If you use Miserably and your movie is shit, and your movie is slow, then you're lying to your audience. You use Miserably, and then you give them an adrenaline shot. And then his other big thing was about how he didn't like Dirty Dancing's use of Be My Baby because it was already used in Mean Streets. And that is an iconic. I love the opening of Mean Streets, but also,
I mean, Dirty Dancing takes it, doesn't it? The Bay City Rollers.
We walk like a man. No. What was it? Shawadi Wadi. No, that's Shawadi Wadi. No, Bay City Rollers is Bye Bye Baby.
Oh, it's the Ronettes.
The Ronettes, yeah.
No.
No.
Are you thinking of Bye Bye?
Yeah. That's Bay City
It's because
Rollers.
it's the question that I got wrong at your quiz.
Did you? Yeah, you did get that wrong, didn't you?
Yeah.
Not as wrong as your friend James, who famously answered, where does espresso originate from? His famous answer was, the Republic of Mexico. Not even just Mexico, which would have been funny bad in its own right.
Yeah.
The Republic of Mexico.
That was hours after he took out a young child.
Yes, we had a run to the chair round, and the answer was O.J. Simpson, and just the most incredible little girl in the world, Amy, who was 5 at the time or something. it's that weird thing where like you always think of like children like as always being 5, but I'm pretty sure she's like 8 or 9 now. But it's like she will never not be 5 to me, even when I'm at her wedding, and it's like she's 25 or whatever. I will never not go, oh, she's 5. But where are we? Not soundtrack. It's Oscar travesty time.
Oh.
And this is right. Here we go. Is Pulp Fiction the Oscar travesty? Or is it, we've done Shawshank 4. I think, I've always said that it should have been...
Oh, is this Forrest Gump? Yeah.
So Forrest Gump sweeps. I've always gone with the opinion that Shawshank should have won Best Picture, Tarantino should have won Best Director.
I don't like Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
I like it, but I'm more of a fan of Pulp Fiction and Shawshank.
Yeah.
But I don't know which I would place higher of those two.
Do you think Freeman should have taken Best Actor?
Without a shadow of a doubt, there's absolutely no doubt in my mind. And also, there's no nomination for Tim Robbins. This is insane. You're talking insane things. The big one here for me is this supporting actor.
Samuel Jackson. Oh.
Yeah, me and Will both love Marty Landau.
From Crimes and Misdemeanors.
Crimes and Misdemeanors, North by Northwest, the great episode of Twilight Zone where he's an angry cowboy. And Ed Wood. I adore the movie Ed Wood. I really do. It's my favourite Tim Burton. And Martin Landau's incredible in it. I'm sorry, Marty. You're not beating Sam Jackson. You're not beating Lawrence Fishburne. You think we all look the same. One of my favourite videos to rewatch. Congratulations on your Super Bowl ad. I didn't have a Super Bowl ad. You think I'm Lawrence Fishburne. Great stuff. Because I've never understood that thing, because I don't think they actually do look the same. Funnily enough, guess who was first up for the role of Jules Winfield?
Lawrence Fishburne.
Bad guess, Martin Landau. I would watch Pulp Fiction with Martin Landau in a heartbeat. Just no doubt. No, but I think we're agreed. Yeah, Sam Jackson. Yeah. I think we're agreed. We're happy with the nomination of John Travolta, but Freeman for Shawshank's your winner.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So it does get some wins.
I'm not sure how Forrest Gump won so much. Like I think it should win something, but I'm not sure what.
Exactly. Yeah.
Shawshank and Pulp are definitely better.
Uma nominated for Best Supporting. I'm sorry, I can't give it. Not when you're dealing with Woody Allen's funniest film of the 90s, and you're dealing with Diane Wiest, who was incredible in Bullets Over Broadway. Please be quiet. Shut up. No, speak. Be quiet. Incredible. You're going to love Bullets Over Broadway.
It sounds just like that Meryl Streep, Hugh Grant film.
Florence Foster Jenkins.
Yes.
Oh, no, it's better than that. So Pulp Fiction wins screenplay. No arguments there, really. Anybody want to make the argument for Four Weddings?
No. I like Four Weddings, but it's not really Oscar worthy in my head.
No, which is really insane.
It's a classic.
It's the fifth. It's the best. It's the Best Picture nominee.
It's arguably the best piece of writing in Four Weddings had already been written, and was just stolen.
Oh, they'd stop all the clocks. Yes, that is true.
This is something I.
That is a very good observation.
I'd say that's second to the Remorseless Scythe speech. I think Johnson's funeral speech does top Stop All the Clocks.
Peter Capaldi won Best Live Action Short Film in the 1994 Oscars with a film starring Richard E. Grant as Franz Kafka called Franz Kafka's It's a Wonderful Life. What the shit is happening here?
Peter Capaldi has an Oscar?
Peter Capaldi has it. What the hell is happening? Wait a minute, it was a tie.
It's a joint.
With a movie called Trevor. What? A 13-year-old Diana Ross fan? What the
It sounds like
hell
you,
is happening?
Tom.
Yeah, I wasn't there. Can you feel the love tonight? Wins best original song. Is that the best? Oh, it did a La La Land. It got nominated for 3.
Yeah.
Is Can You Feel the Love Tonight the best song in Lion King? Real quick tangent.
Circle of Life makes me cry every time.
I love Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata.
But my favourite song in The Lion King is Just Can't Wait to Be King. It's such a bop.
I sang that.
But Can You Feel the Love Tonight is just kind of a classic.
Yeah. So Pulp Fiction deserves to win best film editing without a shadow of a doubt. Speed's great, but it's not as good. I mean, we all know how much I love Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
We all know how much fun everyone else who was in it had.
Yeah, they did indeed. Poor Emma Thompson.
Oh.
Forrest Gump also wins best visual effects over The Mask. I'm a big Mask guy.
I love The Mask.
I'm a big P-A-R-T. Why? I'm a big Mask guy. What's next? It's Will's favourite building or set.
Hello. This is really difficult, actually.
I've got a pretty clear one.
There's some arguments for a basement.
Yep, that's the winner. No, actually, it's not the base. It's not the basement, isn't it? There is a clear winner.
What, the diner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's my biggest question. So we have a restaurant called Bubba Gump's. That doesn't even make any sense. At the end of Forrest Gump, they come up with the Bubba Gump Shrimp Restaurant. So it does make sense. But how is that a chain? And Jack Rabbit Slim's isn't. Like, in this world of consumerism where, like, all this business, how is that not a chain restaurant? Or like a TGI's or something?
I was thinking I would love to go to that place.
Yeah, it'd be great. And everybody dresses up, and you'd get so much money. You'd get so much money. It would be obscene.
That's not Maryland.
Yeah, that's not Maryland. Yeah. Have you got any other comments on that, though, Will, or just?
Oh no, I mean it's definitely that. Yeah, that. I mean, all the cars. It's. I would love to go there. Please, thank you.
Best single minute. Let's go in reverse. So it's me.
I'd order.
I'll go anyway. I have the monologue convincing Bruce Willis not to throw the fight. I have Son of the Preacher Man coming into that. I have 2 dancers. I have The Dance, and I have what should have come up in Soundtrack Corner. I apologise. The Urge Overkill version of Girl, You'll Be a Woman Soon. Incredible track. Absolutely incredible track. I have the bit where Marcellus is getting raped and Butch beats up the gimp, breaks the chair, picks his weapon and comes back down. That is a great minute. However, no. They're the nominations. We will talk about the best minute later.
Yes, let's
Will,
do it.
what are your other nominations?
My other nominations, I mean, I'm spot on exactly the same as you, but I'll also add in Winston Wolfe.
For a minute?
Yeah, he's in it for a bit than a minute. More than a minute.
His the initial appearance when he's at the door is like, I'm going to solve all your problems.
I have my
direct line.
Yeah, well, okay.
This is the most advertified type of film ever.
This is the problem with bloody direct line. Yeah, now I can never watch Winston Wolfe, and like that's a real shame in many ways. That's my biggest change is that direct line have ruined.
And there was a confused.com there was a song that's used in a confused.com advert.
Jesus Christ.
Whilst they're in the diner. No, not in the diner. In the the.
Doom 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 boom doom boom 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 doom 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 doom. Yeah, it's different. I've got a Winston Wolfe single minute. It's the goodbye from Winston Wolfe. Just absolute 3 knockout lines. I see your future. I see a cab ride. Move out of the sticks, fellas. Say goodbye, Raquel. Goodbye, Raquel. talking about character. Just because you are a character doesn't mean you have character, and then you drive off. That is how you make an exit in a goddamn film. Becky, any nominations for Single Minute?
I like the dance,
Mm.
the twist. But otherwise, like, I really struggle with Single Minute for this film because I like segments of it and I like lines, but I wouldn't say there's a specific standout minute for me.
Well, there is, and it's the greatest minute in the film. Butch.
Should we do it?
Butch, I've got man's here to see you. He knew your dad. he knew your dad. It's the Captain Coons. It's the Captain Coons watch monologue. Christopher Walken watch monologue. Just incredible, absolutely incredible. Telling this astounding story through the ages, ending with Dad looked at it. This much was your birthright. You'd be damned if any racial slur. I'm gonna put their board racial slurs on his boy's birthright. So he hid it. The one place he knew he could hide something. His ass. 5 long years he wore this watch up his ass. Then when he died of dysentery, of all the diseases you could have picked, he gave me the watch. I hid this uncomfortable piece of metal up my ass for 2 years. Then after 7 years, I was sent home to my family. And now, little man, I give this watch to you.
Jimmy, we're not gonna store it.
No. Don't you fucking realize, man, that if Bonnie comes home and finds a dead body in her house, I'm gonna get divorced? All right, no marriage counseling, no trial separation. I'm gonna get fucking divorced, okay? And I don't want to get fucking divorced. I mean, you know, fuck. I mean, I want to help you, but I don't want to lose my wife doing it, all right?
Jimmy, she ain't gonna leave us.
Don't fucking Jimmy me, Jules, okay? Don't fucking Jimmy me. There's nothing that you're gonna say that's gonna make me forget that I love my wife, is there? Now, look, you know, she comes home from work in about an hour and a half. Graveyard shift at the hospital. You gotta make some phone calls. You gotta call some people. Well, then do it. And then get the fuck out of my house before she gets here.
Hey, that's cool in the gang. You know, we don't want to fuck your shit up. All I want to do is call my people, get them, bring us in. That's all.
You don't want to fuck my shit up. You're fucking my shit up right now. You're gonna fuck my shit up big time if Bonnie comes home. So just do me that favor, all right? The phone is in my bedroom. I suggest you get going.
That's
just the best bit.
Becky, what's your opinion on this watch scene? You don't seem to be joining us in this jubilation.
I love Christopher Walken.
Who doesn't?
It's just a bit I don't know. I just, you know, it's more like just providing context for the reason the whole watch thing happens.
Yeah, it is completely needed. Or else he seems like a madman.
I don't like the whole watch storyline. I think.
What would you say your problem is with it?
I don't know if there's a problem with it. It's just like I don't see the point in it. Like, there's obviously like a reason that he goes back, and you understand that, and then it causes all these other issues. But you're just kind of like, there's no, I don't know. It doesn't link to like the rest of the film as much.
Yeah, it is rather insular. Other than the murder of Vega, which is a great murder, with that lovely little build-up foundation of it at the start of the bar. It's a great payoff. But no, it is a middle section that has all but nothing to do with the rest of the film, bar its obvious Marcellus connection. What's next? Best line. Let's do round robin. Will, kick us off.
I'm going to start with the. Does he look like a bitch?
What? Oh, that's how you wrote it down.
Oh,
okay.
did you? Oh, sorry. Does he look like a bitch?
No. Why are you trying to fucking make
why are you trying? It's great.
But Miss Wallace don't let you be fucked by anybody except Mrs. Wallace. Blessed is he who in the name of charity and goodwill shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness. He's the shepherd. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. I'm trying real hard, Ringo. I'm trying real hard to be the shepherd. Becky?
I'm the fucking master.
Well.
Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead.
Great stuff.
Oh.
I can't believe this is the same car. Well, let's not start sucking each other's dicks quite yet. Becky.
Hamburgers, the cornerstone of a nutritious breakfast. There's most of these come under the same segment.
Scene, yeah. We good, Vincent? We good. Yolanda, how we doing, baby? I gotta go pee. I wanna go home. Just hang in there, baby. You're doing great. Ringo's proud of you, and so am I. It's almost over. Tell you you're proud of her. I'm proud of you, honey bunny. I love you. I love you too, honey bunny. I think that's really lovely and sweet. I don't actually have any more. Will, do you have any more?
I mean, there's the whole Walken monologue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have a particular favourite line from the Walken monologue?
I held this watch.
Uncomfortable hunk of metal up my ass.
I have so many quotes written down.
Go on, Becky, it's your time. This is literally the only time in your life.
Again with the hamburgers, it was I can't get them because my girlfriend's a vegetarian, which pretty much makes me a vegetarian. I should say, I just basically wrote down any word that comes out of Samuel L. Jackson's mouth. I liked English, motherfucker. Do you speak it?
That's great.
Say what one more goddamn time.
It is. Yeah, go on. Are you going to say what I was going to say?
Have you seen the YouTube clip where they did the Frozone scene, but they put "say what again" in the background because she does actually go "what," and then he just goes. It's great.
It is. Where's my super suit?
That is
what?
Spoilers for spoilers for best single minute for our Incredibles episode. It's that one.
Oh yeah. If I may, one of the best Samuel L. Jackson bits is the whole mushroom cloud splatter of blood in the car.
Where do we stand on his... Go on, Becky, take it away.
I was just going to say, can I go through my other quotes?
Yes, of course you can. Welcome to Becky's Samuel L. Jackson corner.
Coke is fucking dead as dead. Heroin is coming back in a big fucking way.
That's not Samuel L. Jackson. That's Eric Stoltz.
I know. This is where we divert away.
Okay.
I'm going to take a piss. That's a little bit more information than I needed, Vince, but go right ahead. I really like the ketchup joke that Uma Thurman tells. I found it really funny for some reason.
That well liked him.
I also really liked her conversation about awkward silences.
Yes. Mia has some incredible stuff. Like, Mia's a great hang. She's got some great opinions. The uncomfortable silences thing, completely true. Couldn't agree more. Don't you just love it when you come back from the bathroom and you've got food? I love that. Mia is on top of it.
Vince was just sat there like ignoring her. I was like, she's being great.
Yeah, but he has to ignore her. What's he going to do? We'll get to it. Tom's big question.
Then I also liked, oh man, I shot Marvin in the face.
There was a bump in the road. There ain't no fucking bump in the road. Great shit.
Back to Samuel Jackson. I used the same fucking damn soap you did, and when I finished, the towel didn't look like some goddamn maxi pad.
You saw me wash it. I saw you get it wet.
And then, normally both your asses would be dead as fucking fried chicken, but you happen to pull the shit while I'm in a transitional period, and I don't want to kill you. I want to help you. And that's it. That's
it. Very good. What's the change?
Here we go.
Let's get to some minor ones, and then we'll get to the big one.
Okay.
I have here line changes. People make out as if it's a theory on multiverses or whatever. It's just a mistake. The whole
Reservoir Dogs.
No, that I'm going to electrocute every motherfucking last one of you, and then when it cuts to the at the end, she goes, "I'm going to electrocute every one of you motherfuckers." It's just a mistake. He said this, and I don't like it. I have the couch shoot when he shoots the flock of seagulls guy. It's so weak. There's no blood. There's like the weakest gunshot. The guy just goes, "Nah, just give me a goddamn squid of blood, Quentin." Same thing when he shoots Frank Whaley in the shoulder. Like, you see nothing. He just grabs his shoulder. It's like, come on, just give us a squid.
For a Quentin Tarantino film,
yeah,
quite like PC.
Yeah,
PC, PG, whatever the.
What next? I don't like the black and white background in the taxi. I know that he's trying to make a 50s movie, but it doesn't fit the realistic theme that is set for the rest of the film. It doesn't work for me. Too many fade to blacks. I'm not a big fan of all the fade to blacks in this movie. Becky, do you have any changes?
I've already said that the middle's quite, like, it drags a bit, and that I don't remember it. But I don't know what I'd change. It's just a thing that I'm not sure I like as much. And then secondly, the language is a bit much at times. It works in the context of the film, but there's times where you're just a bit like, oof, this is a lot of bad language, and there's a lot of racial slurs as well, which again kind of it fits the context of the film, but I don't like.
So there's a bigger conversation here about Tarantino's use of the N-word. Samuel L. Jackson has always defended, anytime there's anything, because Spike Lee, one of the biggest African-American filmmakers of the 90s and still today, really, he was like, what the fuck are you doing? You can't use the N-word all the time. Samuel L. Jackson, again, star of of Do the Right Thing, one of Spike Lee's biggest films, one of the most important movies of that ilk. He stands by him, people do talk like this, people use the N-word all the time. We've recorded the Django episode, but we haven't aired it yet. Leonardo DiCaprio needed to take a break because he was using it too much, and Samuel L. Jackson pulled him aside and said, "This is just another Tuesday for us. You need to realize this." But this is the film where I stand back a little bit, because I don't. Because Jimmy, why is Jimmy? It doesn't make sense for Jimmy to use it.
Because it's Quentin.
But not even the fact that it's Tarantino. I think it feels out of place with Jimmy. All the Reservoir Dogs people in the back of the car, they're terrible robbers. By all accounts, Jimmy's a nice guy. And also, Jimmy's got a black wife. When we see Bonnie, she's black. And he's going on about dead N-word storage. It just doesn't feel...
That's always annoyed me.
It feels out of character.
Going on about his coffee, and then all of a sudden, have you seen my sign? Like, whoa, okay.
It feels out of character. And I think, again, it's not necessarily my place to say, but this is the one that has always stood out for me in the context of the Tarantino N-word debate, because it feels out of character. Some people say that it's a cop-out to say that just because it's in character doesn't mean it's needed. But I do think when it's so out of character, as it is in this film, that's when it feels out of place. And that's when it's, I won't say it unsettles me, but it puts a damper on an otherwise very funny scene. I think that's
one of those things for me that, like, it annoys me when people change films to be politically correct when they're just trying to portray like a normal conversation between two people, or more people, whatever. And so, like, I can understand why, as I say, like, it sounds more realistic to use all this language, because you kind of imagine that these gangsters are using this kind of language. It's more, so, like, I don't think there's anything that I would change about the film. It's more just sitting watching, I get to a point where I'm like, oh, this is like a bit much for me as a person. Like, but that's more just like, I wouldn't want to be around these people saying this much bad language. I don't know.
I think you can add it to the. I've always said the argument that people that use so much swear words, like in writing screenplays, use a bad word only when it's right to, like when people overuse the F word, whatever, and it doesn't fit. If you use it to make a point or use it,
it should be used like punctuation, as it is so often with Tarantino, as it is used here. Will, do you have any other cosmetic changes before we get to the film that stops the film in its tracks like a goddamn train?
Nothing glaring, really. Nothing glaring.
Well, let's talk about the glaring. Jesus Christ, it doesn't get any better any time. Becky, what do you think of Butcher's girlfriend?
I like the storyline there.
What do you think of the actress? Do you think that she's absolutely insufferable?
Bad. I think, like, she's obviously not like a standout character or anything, or a standout actress, but I don't know, I just think it kind of fits.
So this is Maria de Medeiros, who has been in nothing since. So I think that, well, no, she's been in a lot of small things. So I think that people are agreed with us here. I mean, I can't stand her. I think she's genuinely really quite bad. It's a pain when she is on screen. Whenever she is on screen, it is a goddamn insufferability. It's terrible. She's actively bad. I can't stand her. Will, you agree in this opinion?
I don't enjoy the performance now.
I don't think it ruins the film.
Blueberry pancakes.
I think it's that bad.
I want blueberry pancakes. I want blueberry pancakes. Fuck off. Jesus, just mad him. What's left from Will's notes?
I've always said when he here we go. This is what's left from my notes. I've always said when he goes back with the motorbike, he shouldn't. He should drive off without it.
Yeah, I would prefer that too. Anything left from your notes, Will?
No.
Douglas Sirk Steak. Douglas Sirk is a great director. I don't know why you'd name a steak after him, other than him having a few similar letters. Yeah, that's me done. We've actually hit on all this. Oh, did nobody come into the diner for like 20 minutes? Nobody knocking on the door? No, have a seat when it's getting robbed? Nobody coming in? Becky,
I mean, they might have seen it from outside. There were windows, so people might have been like,
they would call the police.
Guns.
But then they would call the police.
Yeah.
There's a robbery.
There's a robbery happening. Oh, there they go. Oh.
A couple things. So, just the very Tarantino iconic pause in the first scene and the misery bit. We've talked about the soundtrack. This is kind of, again, a Tarantino thing, but like there's just a lot of constant dialogue that in this case I actually really like because it makes it seem realistic. I mean, there's a bit still where they're like talking almost too much, but like the majority of the time they're having all these kind of like light-hearted conversations whilst they're off to like essentially take out some guys or whatever. Like the whole foot massage conversation and the Royale thing, like I don't know, I just like it. So I wanted to come back to the whole Becky's innocence thing because the first time I watched The Overdose, I had no clue what was going on. I didn't know what the drug was. I didn't know why it had happened. I thought she was dead. And I just turned to the person I was watching it with like, what's happening?
It did. I thought that she took some bad cocaine. It took me a very long...
I didn't even know it was cocaine.
Well, no, it's not cocaine. That's the point. She's snorting she's snorting his heroin.
I didn't know what it was.
He says,
I was
doesn't he?
17 at the time.
I've run out of baggies, and you would give coke in baggies, but you'd give heroin in a balloon to avoid this sort of stuff. And he says, I've run out of baggies. Can you go get some... Sorry, I've run out of balloons. Can you grab a baggie from the kitchen when he's on about Rosanna Arquette with all the... She the one with all the shit in the face? No, that's my wife. I always think of the Robin Williams joke where it's like, where Robin Williams says, why do you have that stud in your tongue? And she goes, to enhance sexual pleasure. To stimulate my man sexually. And it's very funny. Where do we stand on clitoral piercing? No, that's Tom's big question. That does sound painful, though.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to give too much information. I
wouldn't like that to happen.
I have seen a clitoris in my life, and
this is the strangest podcast conversation.
Oh yes, they're quite small, and to pierce that
externally,
yes, and I presume it's not an internal piercing. Jesus Christ, don't mind me.
Oh,
yeah. Are you using the whole fist there, Doc? You done time?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with you.
Moon
River. There's nothing wrong with you. Well, I'm sure it's not for lack of looking. It's
me a vegetarian, but I do love the taste of a good burger. You know what they call a quarter pounder with cheese in France?
No.
Tell him, Vincent.
Royale with cheese.
Royale with cheese. You know why they call it that?
Because of the metric system?
Check out the big brain on Brad. You're a smart motherfucker, that's right. The metric system. Send this.
Sprite.
Sprite, good. You mind if I have some of your tasty beverage to wash this down?
Go right ahead.
That hit the spot. You, flock of seagulls. You know why we're here?
Great stuff. Enough about Prince Albert's and clitoral piercing. What are we doing? Becky, is there anything left from your notes?
Oh, yes. One thing. I'm sure this is something that you've definitely discussed before, not in the podcast, but outside. The fact that they blow Marvin's head off, and then when he's in the boot of the car, he has a head. And I know that's probably a deliberate Tarantino thing, or it's a deliberate mistake.
They may be talking, I think they're talking about it, blowing his head off, just like, not like over-exaggerating, like it's blown the entire back out.
Yeah,
but that's just a stretch.
But this is the thing with Tarantino, right? Is like Tarantino, it's very classic to like shoot someone in the head and it just explodes, which isn't like that's not what happens like anatomically.
Unless you have a what do they call them? Dum-dums? The exploding bullets?
No.
But then that wouldn't have caused the mess, and they wouldn't have had the whole conversation of like, oh, the brain and the skull. And then like when you look at him in the boot, he literally has like, it's not even like there's blood over his head. It's like just a perfect head. So I think it's either like a deliberate like little Easter egg, or it's like just a genuine mistake.
It probably
They could have just cut that out.
They could have done. Let's do a few fun facts. The coffee shop manager in the robbery scene at the end is credited as coffee shop because he's cut off as he speaks. He just says, I'm not a hero, I'm just a coffee shop. Uma Thurman did not actually like the song, You Can Never Tell, and she told Tarantino about this, saying it just did not sound right. Tarantino simply replied, trust me, it's perfect. And he was, of course, completely correct. Harvey Keitel convinced his friend Bruce Willis to take part in the film, knowing that Willis had been a big fan of dogs, Reservoir Dogs. Tarantino hesitated over the choice between the character he was going to play, whether it was going to be Jimmy or Lance. He ended up choosing Jimmy because he wanted to be behind the camera for the overdose scene. So there's the theory that the demise of Vincent is his own fault because he's moved to heroin, which leads to constipation. And if he wasn't a heroin addict, he wouldn't be on the toilet. So the Mac 10 on the kitchen side is actually Marcellus's, and he is going out for donuts and he's coming back. That's why that's happening, which makes a lot more sense now that it's been put into context. A scene removed from the final film involved Jules trying to consider what to do while Pumpkin and Honey Bunny rob the diner. In the scene, Jules points his gun at the bottom of the table and fires up twice, hitting Pumpkin and killing him. He then spins around and shoots Honey Bunny 3 times, killing her. As she falls, her gun goes off and hits the long-haired yuppie scum, who dies screaming on the floor. The scene then cuts back to Jules talking to Pumpkin in the diner, revealing the shootings to have happened entirely in his mind. Quentin Tarantino said the backstory he imagined for the Gimp was that he was a hitchhiker who had been picked up by Zed 7 years earlier and had been trained by them to do as they wanted. It's a living.
I mean, sex slaves are a thing.
They are. It seems that the Gimp's into it. I've always thought that he was...
This is the thing about sexual assault, is going very deep here, that if you've been forced into being a slave for so many years, then you start to like, just, you psychologically you're so messed up that you're like, yes, I will do whatever you say.
True. I guess it's
partly
always
Stockholm syndrome type thing.
But obviously there are consensual Gimps.
Yeah.
But we also know that Zed's a rapist.
Yeah.
There's evil on both sides.
Given he was in like an actual cage, I think it's probably more
true.
the case of he was genuinely locked up and has just been there for so long.
Yeah,
like.
that fits with the hitchhiker.
And I also wonder if like the reason that he like calls out, for example, when Butch like tries to escape is because he's like, I fear the rapists more than I fear this guy here. And he feels like at that state, like he's been there for so long, he feels like he would have almost a better life, or he was being more likely to survive if he trusted the rapist rather than this random guy who'd just escaped.
True. An unexpected corner. Let's go to Tom's big question. Is this the best on-screen Tarantino performance?
What do you mean by on-screen performance?
I don't want to patronise you when I mean on-screen performance. I'm sorry. There's no better way. There was no other way to say it. I'm going to go Mr. Brown, Reservoir Dogs. Mr. Brown, that's a little bit too close to Mr. Shit. Because obviously he has the incredible Like a Virgin monologue. Do people do coke in toilets still like this?
Yeah.
No, but like in front of everybody? I don't mean, of course people do coke in toilets, but like even in Basic Instinct, this is basic 2 years before. And that's like a big coke-fueled place. And Michael Douglas and Sharon Stone and Roxy go into the stall. Why does she just do it in front of everybody?
I wonder if there was like a point being made there, because like all of the girls were kind of powdering their nose and they were clearly so focused on themselves that like they probably wouldn't have cared what she was doing in the middle of them. But I don't know.
It's like American Psycho. Who was your favourite waiter at Jack Rabbit Slim's?
Steve Buscemi.
Oh yes, well now that you know it's Steve Buscemi. Did God really get involved?
I mean, it's a film, so no.
Would Mia and Vincent make a better relationship than Mia and Marcellus Wallace?
Yes.
Yes. I also don't know what her life is like living with a gangster.
Yeah.
Probably quite manipulative as well.
I mean, it's mainly down to how she delivers it because she's so terrible. I want you to give me oral pleasure. Can you kiss it? Let's break this down. Is oral sex rare in their relationship? Is that why she's asking? Can you give me oral pleasure?
I don't know. I feel like they're just communicating.
Yeah.
Bruce Willis saying, can you kiss it? Does he actually want her to just kiss it?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Maybe this is how Tarantino has sex.
To what?
Maybe this is how Tarantino has sex. It's all he knows.
Yes. Please just kiss it. What she's told him that's what a blowjob is. I just kiss it. Mwah, and then go back up. Can you do a kiss again? Synopsis of a sequel, I don't think there's a synopsis here. And that leads us to the end of our Pulp Fiction episode. We've got two, no, that's a lie. We've got 2 left to record, but we've got 3 left for you to watch. We've got Django, Inglourious Bastards, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
We've got my 2 favourite Quentin Tarantino things to do, movies.
And we will be joined once more by Madame Muggeridge, with scheduling permitting.
Big fan of Tarantino.
Who isn't? Well, lots of people, but we are.
I wrote my name down next to literally every one of the Tarantinos, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't do this.
Well, okay. Let's have a brief tangent to end this episode. What is your Tarantino ranking, Becky?
Okay. Let me make sure I've got all of it, because I haven't seen every single one.
Which of the ones haven't you seen? Well, and then we have that context.
Right. Let's get this up. I haven't seen Reservoir Dogs. I haven't seen Kill Bill. I haven't seen Hateful Eight.
Also great.
Actually, no. I've seen maybe 15 minutes of Kill Bill, but I think it was on TV or it was.
Well, I'd certainly
was watching it, and I just watched a bit of it.
I'd certainly watch them. Of what you've watched.
Okay, of what I've watched. I really like Inglourious Bastards. I think that's my top.
Okay. Which is a perfect segue. Oh, no. Keep talking.
Then maybe Pulp.
Come wake me up in the year 2000.
Then Django, and then Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And I think those are all the ones I've watched. So not much for a massive fan of Tarantino.
That is my top 4. I'll agree with you there. I think for me it's Once Upon a Time, Inglourious, Pulp, Django, Dogs. That's probably my top 5.
I mean, we're dealing with some incredible films.
And
so our next episode will be Django, but we will be joined by Becky for Inglourious Bastards, where we will get some energy for the episode with gasoline.
Da ba da ba da ba da.